we want to focus on Merchant Spring, how you can use it, and demo it for all of our viewers. So
the concept and the DNA of Merchant Spring is all about solving the problem of visibility. So the tool does actually get into more interesting and commercially relevant information.
And the great thing about Merchant Spring is that you can use it to manage your Amazon store as well as so many different marketplaces. And I really love the dashboard because you can easily get all of your information.
Automate the review for all FBA orders, 5 days after the delivery was made or whatever. You can customize certain things. So
who do you think is the person that is in need of Merchant Spring, and who, at what level should they be selling at? Welcome to Power Your E-commerce Business, the go-to series for busy entrepreneurs like you. Product research, sales, marketing, branding, shipping, and logistics. We share knowledge and information every week from top experts serving the MENA region to help you power your e-commerce business. Once you set up your e-commerce business and your Amazon store, you quickly discover that you're not going to be spending a lot of time on the beach, but rather you're going to be spending a lot of time managing the business. In this episode of Power Your E-commerce Business, we're featuring Merchant Spring. Merchant Spring is an analytics-based tool that can provide you the data and information that you need as an e-commerce seller to grow your business and make more money. Let's jump straight into my interview with James, the co-founder of Merchant Spring, based in Australia. James, Merchant Spring is basically and primarily an analytics tool. And the great thing about Merchant Spring is that you can use it to manage your Amazon store as well as so many different marketplaces. And in the Middle East, you're also integrated with Carrefour in the UAE. So we're going to be talking about all of that for sure, and why, as an e-commerce seller, you would need to manage your business in order to grow your business as well. But first and foremost, why did you create Merchant Spring?
Yeah, well, look, it's a very long story, Crystal, and don't want to bore anyone, but it's really comes down to the environment that we're in, like in the last 5 years. So myself and my co-founder actually have a big background in e-commerce, actually working for one of the largest previously worked for one of the largest e-commerce businesses in Australia. And what we realized at the time was sellers, right, actually are faced with multiple e-commerce channels. So in Australia, that could be eBay, as you see on my jumper, they could be Amazon, Catch, or whatever. Now, the problem that these sellers had is they say, well, look, I've got all these marketplaces, but their question mark every day is, well, what's actually going on? For some of them, they have to log into here, check, log into here, check, log into here, and check what's going on. So we realized this and essentially formulated this kind of concept, which was, how do you see everything in one place, right? Solving the problem of visibility and basically surfacing metrics as easily and simply as possible. Now, that's kind of why we built it. And funnily enough, what we realized is that everywhere around the world, people actually have this problem, from, Brazil to, the Middle East to England. Like, everybody has this problem. It's just a different combination of marketplaces. So I hope that makes sense as to why we built it.
Well, I think all great tools, softwares, businesses, they start out because of a certain, when you identify or when you personally have a pain point, a pain yourself, and you identify it and you develop a type of solution. And I believe that's what Merchant Spring is. Now we're going to talk about the type of seller that could potentially benefit from using Merchant Spring and all of that. But I'm sure we want to focus on Merchant Spring, how you can use it, and demo it for all of our viewers. So please go ahead. Let's jump into a demo.
Sure. Now let me just share my screen here. So, like I said, I don't want to come across as a pushy sales guy, but I hope, how I'm going to explain it is through a more value-adding perspective. So, like I said before, the kind of the concept and the DNA of Merchant Spring is all about solving the problem of visibility. So what I'm showing right here on this page is the first thing a user would see, right? So they've logged in and they essentially get presented with a whole bunch of metrics, which are the culmination of all of the channels that they have connected to their Merchant Spring account, right? So now this just I guess a word of warning, this is actually a demo account. It's got random data. It's not actually real seller data. So what I'm simulating here is that this demo account has an Amazon US, eBay US, eBay UK, Amazon UK, Amazon Australia connected all at once. And it's presenting all of that data right here in one place. Now, the data is combined. So right now I'm seeing what are my total sales across all of the connected channels.
Because it's all part of my business at the end of the day. So
exactly.
Yeah, please go
exactly.
ahead.
And I mean, for a lot of sellers, it might not be a combination of eBays and Amazons and Walmarts. It actually might be all Amazons, just different Amazons.
Yeah.
So instantly, the tool is solving the question of what are my sales across all of them? Where are the sales coming from? Within a second, I can say, okay, majority of the sales in this instance is coming from a US Amazon account, right? It starts to tell you how are you tracking today versus where you normally track on a Tuesday. So some of the metrics it's showing might seem very childlike, very simple, but actually it's answering a question of basically, is everything all right, or am I really in trouble today? And it's showing it, quite easily. Like for some of this information, you'd have to log into all of your Amazons, download a CSV, understand like where you normally are at versus 100%. Where you're actually at. Oh, it's just starts to get a nightmare. This answers the question in a couple of seconds.
And if you're a creative type of person, or if you're a entrepreneurial type of person, you don't really love data. So a lot of people aren't really fond of analytics and data and trying to fish it out themselves. That's why a tool that can help you is very important. So, we're at a point where there's so many tools that can streamline the process. You might as well have the information because it can better manage your business for sure.
Exactly. And I think, you're exactly right. And entrepreneurs that are looking at the back of Seller Central, through the business reports or whatever, and they're like, where do I even really start to get anything meaningful data out? So again, this is just presenting it in very basic, easy to digest terminology. So kind of going beyond the obvious here, that the tool does actually get into more interesting and commercially relevant information. So it does actually, churn out things like profitability by connected channel or advertising by channel. I know a lot of hardcore Amazon sellers are very concerned about the actual, profitability because there's so many complicated fees that Amazon has, and they vary depending on what you're opted into and what you're not, and the like. So this is again surfacing it very simply, and it gets more, valuable with the profitability because some of those, the finance reports, for example, from Seller Central can be a complete nightmare as to what you're getting charged for and when. So, yeah, and I guess beyond this, so we started really with sales, then into kind of the financial stuff, it gets into operational as well. So you get into this availability, seller health. Now, this again looks very simple, but highly critical, as you know, Crystal, because your seller health is I guess your license to sell on Amazon. If you have a compromised seller health, you basically can't sell. So at this high level, it's surfacing to the user, the seller, what's going on, and essentially like a sanity check, right? You can glean from this one page whether you're in a real pit of trouble or you actually are, tracking all right. Cool. So everything that's on this page as well is actually drillable, right? So whilst I'm kind of showing the data at a high level, I can drill, for example, click this blue link and I can get straight into Amazon US.
That's why I love Merchant Spring. I really love the dashboard because you can easily get all of your information, like you log in the morning or at night, and you
see a snapshot of all of the information. And then you don't have to actually go into each and every page unless you really want to figure out some more dive deep, or like you said, drill into some additional information. So that's actually very interesting as well, the way that you've developed that, having really good user experience.
Yeah, I mean, you should see the login patterns. It's really interesting. Like people log in 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Yeah.
Check this page, check the channel, and off they go. But really, like, you know, the whole idea is easily getting across the data. So being able to drill down quickly, giving you an isolated view of what's going. Okay, you've seen the big picture. I just want to see this Amazon account. You know, you're able to get that at your fingertips. On this page, the user is really presented with similar sorts of metrics I showed before, but for the specific Amazon account or whatever's connected. So out of the box, none of this stuff needs to be configured. It just works. So you've got all these sales insights on the left, like top sellers, worst sellers, sales by category, etc. Now, not always relevant for everybody, but the thing is, it's out of the box, right? Out of the box, you can see, what product is your worst seller, or perhaps needs attention because it hasn't sold for 47 days. And guess what? It's got 300 in stock in FBA. And you know what? If you don't start moving it, you're in trouble. So it's surfacing 100%. Those, critical action points. Again, very easily, one click, you get the picture.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I could go through every single report, but I think as your kind of followers are pretty established in kind of what Amazon does and how it works, there's just, I'll kind of get over it pretty quickly. So beyond the reporting stuff is, we start to get in profitability. Now, like I said before, this is actually a demo account, so the data is all clear. It's not anyone's personal data.
Yeah.
What I'm showing here on screen is, we're starting to get into your account level profitability. So some of the sellers we talk to, they're like, yeah, the reporting's great or whatever about sales, but I want to know, for a particular period, is the actual Amazon account, making money net of refunds, net of promotional fees, FBA fees, reimbursements, everything. So this grabs all of the data via API from Amazon directly. So we're not guessing any of this stuff, and basically paints a picture of what are you really netting out for a particular period, clear of all Amazon fees. And I think the beauty of it is that the way we've structured the connectivity of the platform is it's actually usable already for all of the Amazon marketplaces globally, like Amazon Poland, Amazon Sweden, all the Middle Eastern ones as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's very interesting because it's important, but some tools we see out there don't always have a kind of a consistent connectivity.
Yeah.
We're not done yet, but before we continue with this video, make sure that you like this video, you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss another episode of Power Your E-commerce Business, and leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let's continue.
It's also important to have, visibility for profitability at the account level. But what I'm showing here is we also have reporting for the product level profitability. So actually, you can, from what we're showing is, you can get a P&L, a profit and loss statement at an ASIN level. So you can, it'll actually surface, this ASIN's profitable, this is not, actually take action on the ones that are not. Because you're right, like, Amazon sellers, having that cash flow is super critical to kind of your continued existence. Beyond those sorts of reports that I mentioned before, we do actually have some built-in price monitoring. So for those sellers that are out there, and there are some that actually have, compete at a buy box level, the tool will actually monitor, I guess, what's your price versus the buy box price, how many other sellers are selling the same product, what price are they selling it for, et cetera, et cetera. So again, as you probably know, it's not always applicable to those with their own private label brand, but this is a feature that's a part of the platform as well.
Of course.
So moving on beyond that, we start to get into the account health, which is somewhat surfaced in that overview screen I showed before and in the detail screen. But within the actual kind of the further, deepest drill down, we start to see and surface to the user all the detailed metrics like your late shipment rate, order defect rate, your response time to customer queries, or basically any listing policy violations, etc. So some of that is actually from our feedback, from users, some of that is quite hard to digest in the platform. So we provide it in a very easy to use interface. It's either, green or red meaning bad, obviously. So it's visually like, okay, I've got to do something. So whilst we're providing the detail, you can actually get that snapshot of how bad or good the situation is from the high level, and then drill straight down into here to understand kind of what's going on.
If it's green, then you're happy. Then you're going to have a good day.
If it's green, you don't need to drill down. That's pretty much the rule.
Just move on. Just move on. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's some operation stuff in here as well, but I think the most popular feature
reviews
is really the review management. Now, again, this is unfortunately a demo account, but the tool does actually allow the user to automate the review requests to buyers. So you can set things like automate the review for all FBA orders, 5 days after the delivery was made, or whatever. You can customize certain things. So, this is we've tried to keep it as simple as possible, doing it all via API. And basically the thing that we do programmatically to Amazon is we tell Amazon via API, hey, ask that customer for a review for both seller and the product, and use the official Amazon template. So we're not trying to ask the user to kind of spec out, some, custom wording, whatever. Just get straight to it, get to the one that actually works. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
So yeah, just to kind of cap off the kind of drill down functionality for Amazon is the advertising module. So within our platform, we have a full suite of essentially reporting for all the different types of ads you can run. As you know, Crystal, there's heaps of different ad types. And yeah, we basically provide again, everything drillable approach to reporting. So unlike being in Seller Central, you don't have to go to different pages and export stuff. So like to give you an example, I'll just drill into this particular campaign. I can see my ad groups. I can get into exactly what keywords are being used and so on. What's really interesting about it, and interestingly what a lot of agencies have asked for, is this global view, right? So our tool actually lets you see all of the kind of keywords that you're bidding on or targeting, irrespective of what campaign it's in. So you can actually end up with all the keywords you've ever or currently are targeting, and you can sort it, for example, by conversion or spend or clicks or sale or whatever. So you can quickly cut through all the noise and go, okay, these are the 10 keywords that actually make a difference to my life. So it might sound simple, like it's just PPC reporting, but the logic behind it is to, again, make it really easy for the user to kind of get to the data that matters.
One very important thing, James, is obviously we're very focused here on Amazon because we love Amazon, but additionally, it's very interesting that a lot of people use Amazon as a springboard for them to start off their business, or as an additional channel to sell their products on a marketplace that's very successful and that has a lot of users. So Merchant Spring, not only is it able to manage your Amazon account, but exactly you're able to integrate with possibly, I think, every single marketplace, website, system, whatever in the on earth available to human beings globally. So just give us a snapshot of, like, if I had my own e-commerce store, and so I can a Shopify store, for example, I can use Merchant Spring, and I can use my same account on Merchant Spring to also monitor my store on Amazon and possibly on eBay. And if in the UAE, also Carrefour. So just give the viewers a quick idea of all of that.
Yes, I mean, look, if you and I had 4 hours to go through each one, I'm sure we'd go through each one in detail. But At a high level, really,
Yeah.
the actual unique connections that can be made from Merchant Spring, I think it's about 100 or just over 100. But if you think about actual marketplaces, it's over 80. So to kind of get into a little bit of the detail, we've got an eBay connector, global, Amazon connector. So that's, as I said before, it's completely global. So every
All
Amazon,
18. Yeah.
Yeah, around the world. Then Walmart global, Shopify, wherever you are. And then, as you alluded to before, literally tons of other marketplaces around the world. So to your point as well, Crystal, the combination of marketplaces that you can connect is completely up to the user, right? So in Korea, for example, we see people with all these Amazons around the world, and obviously nothing in Korea because they're just an Amazon focused seller. But then in Singapore, we've got a seller that's got, Amazon, Walmart, eBay, etc., and they're all around the world, and a Shopify. So the combinations is completely up to the user, and they can connect theoretically as many as you like. We have some users that have close to 300 marketplaces connected. So it has been pressure tested to an extent.
Perfect.
Thanks to James and the Merchant Spring team. If you want to test out Merchant Spring yourself, they do have a free trial, 15-day full feature trial on their website. You can go ahead and check out their website right now. Make sure you like the video, share it with like-minded people, and I'll see you in another video with more information. Bye.